Silent arrival. The vast expanse of space held countless secrets, but none more surprising than the small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable yellow star. The Voidborn Empire had conquered thousands of worlds across the galaxy, their massive fleet bringing entire civilizations to their knees with ruthless efficiency. They had never encountered meaningful resistance, and they expected none from Earth. Supreme Commander Carrick stood on the bridge of his flagship, the dreadnought Obliterated, his 4 arms folded across his crystalline chest. His species, the Voidborn, were living beings of pure energy encased in translucent armor, and they considered themselves the apex predators of the galaxy. Through the view screen, he observed the blue planet below, its swirling clouds and vast oceans appearing deceptively peaceful. Analysis complete, Supreme Commander announced his tactical officer, Zelith. The planet shows primitive industrial development. Radio wave emissions indicate a Type 0.7 civilization on the Kardashev scale. No significant space presence detected beyond basic satellites and a small station. Carrick's energy form pulsed with satisfaction. Another easy conquest. Begin positioning the fleet for planetary subjugation. We'll give them the standard ultimatum: surrender or face annihilation. The Voidborn fleet consisted of 500 warships, each one capable of devastating entire continents. They arranged themselves in perfect formation around Earth, their obsidian hulls blocking out the stars. To any observer, it would appear as if the night sky had suddenly gone dark. On Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen sat at her monitoring station in the Arecibo Observatory, sipping her 3rd cup of coffee that night. She had been tracking unusual gravitational anomalies for the past week, disturbances that didn't match any known celestial phenomena. As she analyzed the latest data, her screen suddenly lit up with alerts. "What the?" she muttered, setting down her coffee. The readings were off the charts. Massive objects had appeared in Earth's orbit, seemingly out of nowhere. She quickly initiated emergency protocols, sending encrypted messages to observatories worldwide. Within minutes, her phone rang. It was General Marcus Stone from the United Nations Defense Council. "Dr. Chen, we're reading your data. How many objects are we looking at?" "At least 500, General. They're arranged in a tactical formation. These aren't asteroids or natural phenomena. These are ships." There was a pause on the other end. Then, surprisingly, General Stone chuckled. "Well, it's about time. We've been waiting for this." Sarah frowned. "Waiting? General, what are you talking about?" "Dr. Chen, I'm sending a secure transport to your location. There's something you need to see." An hour later, Sarah found herself in an underground facility she never knew existed. The massive complex stretched for miles beneath the Nevada desert, filled with technology that seemed decades ahead of anything publicly known. General Stone led her to a command center where dozens of personnel worked at advanced holographic displays. "Welcome to Project Sentinel," Stone said. "For the past century, we've known this day would come. Ever since we recovered that crashed ship in Siberia in 1908, we've been preparing." Sarah's eyes widened. Tunguska wasn't a meteor. No. It was a scout ship from what we now know is called the Voidborn Empire. The pilots survived long enough to tell us about their civilization, their conquests, and their inevitable arrival. We've had 100 years to get ready. On the main screen, the alien fleet appeared in perfect detail. Stone pointed to various displays showing Earth's hidden defenses: quantum shield generators, graviton cannons, antimatter missiles, and our crown jewel, the resonance cannon network, all disguised as ordinary satellites and space debris. Before Sarah could respond, Communications Officer Lieutenant Jake Rivers called out, "General, we're receiving a transmission from the alien fleet. They're broadcasting on all frequencies." "Put it through," Stone ordered. The screen flickered, revealing Supreme Commander Carrick. His energy form shifted and pulsed as he spoke, his voice translated by advanced AI systems. "Inhabitants of Earth, I am Supreme Commander Carrick of the Voidborn Empire. Your planet has been selected for integration into our glorious dominion. You have one solar rotation to surrender unconditionally. Resistance will result in the complete annihilation of your species. This is not a negotiation." The transmission ended. The command center fell silent for a moment before General Stone turned to his communications team. "Send our prepared response." Sarah watched as Earth's reply was transmitted. Instead of panic or pleading, it was a simple message. "We decline your offer. You are welcome to try." Aboard the Obliterator, Carix's energy form flickered with surprise. In 10,000 conquests, no species had ever responded with such calm defiance. His tactical officer, Zeleth, seemed equally puzzled. "Supreme Commander, their response seems confident. Should we proceed with the standard intimidation protocols?" Carix's form blazed brighter. "They mock us. Begin the assault immediately. Target their major population centers. Let them see the folly of their arrogance." The Voidborn fleet powered up their weapons systems. Massive energy cannons emerged from the ship's hulls, each one capable of vaporizing entire cities. The first wave targeted New York, London, Tokyo, and a dozen other major metropolitan areas. But as the devastating beams lanced toward Earth, something unexpected happened. The energy dissipated harmlessly against invisible barriers, creating spectacular light shows that lit up the night sky but caused no damage. "Shields," Zeleth exclaimed. "They have planetary shields, but that's impossible for a Type 0.7 civilization." Carix's form crackled with rage. "Increased power. Concentrate fire on single points." The Voidborn fleet unleashed everything they had. Energy beams, antimatter torpedoes, graviton bombs, weapons that had cracked planets open like eggs. Yet Earth's shields held firm, adapting to each attack with increasing efficiency. In the underground command center, General Stone watched the display with satisfaction. Phase 1 complete. They've shown their hand. Now it's our turn. "Dr. Chen, would you like to do the honors?" Sarah looked at the control panel before her, marked with a simple label, "Revelation Protocol." "What will this do?" she asked. "Show them the real Earth," Stone replied. Sarah pressed the button. Across the planet, hidden installations revealed themselves. Mountains split open to expose massive cannon emplacements. Ocean floors rose to unveil underwater fortresses. Satellites shed their disguises, transforming into weapons platforms. The Voidborn sensors suddenly showed Earth not as a primitive world, but as a fortress planet bristling with advanced technology. Aboard the Obliterator, alarms screamed as tactical displays updated with the new information. Carix stared at the readings in disbelief. This is impossible. Their technology rivals our own. How did we not detect this?" "Supreme Commander," Zeleth's voice shook. "Their power signatures. They're using zero-point energy. That technology is supposedly only theoretical." Before Carix could respond, Earth struck back. Graviton beams lashed out from the planet's surface, precisely targeting the Voidborn ship's weak points. Quantum torpedoes materialized inside enemy shields, bypassing defenses entirely. The entire assault was coordinated with surgical precision. The first Voidborn destroyer exploded in a brilliant flash of light. Then another, and another. Within minutes, 50 ships had been reduced to cosmic debris. "Return fire. All ships, return fire," Carix commanded. But Earth's counterattack was relentless and intelligent. Decoy drones mimicked the signatures of major installations, drawing Voidborn fire to empty targets. Stealth fighters, invisible to enemy sensors, struck at command ships with devastating efficiency. The human forces fought with perfect coordination, as if the entire planet was a single, unified organism. In the command center, Dr. Chen watched in awe as humanity's hidden might revealed itself. "How long have we had this technology?" "Since Tunguska," Stone explained. "The crashed ship gave us a century's head start. We reverse-engineered their technology, improved upon it, and prepared for this day." Every nation on Earth has been secretly contributing to Project Sentinel. All our conflicts, all our divisions, they were a cover, making us appear primitive and divided. On the screen, the Voidborn fleet was in chaos. Ships collided as they tried to evade Earth's precision strikes. Emergency transmissions filled the communication channels as commanders reported catastrophic damage. Supreme Commander, Zeleth shouted over the din of alarms. We've lost 30% of the fleet. Their weapons are adapting to our shields. We need to retreat and regroup. Kerix's energy form pulsed with fury and disbelief. Never in the Empire's history had they been forced to retreat. But the tactical displays showed the undeniable truth. Earth was winning. His mighty armada was being systematically dismantled by a supposedly primitive species. "Signal the fleet," he said through clenched energy fields. "Prepare for emergency jump to hyperspace. We'll return with the Grand Armada." But as the Voidborn ships began powering up their hyperdrives, Earth played its final card. Across the planet, a network of facilities known as resonance cannon arrays activated. These weapons, based on principles of quantum entanglement and dimensional manipulation, created localized distortions in space-time itself. The effect was immediate and devastating. Voidborn ships found their hyperdrives failing, their navigation systems scrambled. Space itself seemed to twist around them, trapping them in Earth's gravitational well. "We can't jump," Zeleth reported. "They're manipulating local space-time. We're trapped." For the first time in his long career of conquest, Supreme Commander Kerix felt something he had only seen in others. Fear. His invincible fleet was being torn apart by a species that should have been centuries away from such technology. "All ships," he commanded, his voice heavy with defeat. "Surrender. Transmit our unconditional surrender." The battle was over. In less than 3 hours, Earth had not just defended itself but completely decimated the Voidborn invasion fleet. Of the 500 ships that had arrived, only 100 remained intact, all of them disabled and captured. General Stone activated Earth's planetary broadcast system. His image appeared on screens across the globe and in space. "People of Earth, and to our visitors from the Voidborn Empire, today marks a new chapter in human history. We've hidden our true capabilities for a century, presenting ourselves as divided and primitive. But we are neither. We are humanity. We are ready. And to any other civilization that might consider Earth an easy target, think again." In the command center, Dr. Chen stood in stunned silence as she processed everything she had witnessed. "What happens now?" Stone smiled. Now we take our place among the stars. Not as conquerors like the Voidborn, but as defenders. The galaxy is about to learn what happens when you threaten humanity's home. The unexpected storm. As the debris of the Voidborn fleet drifted in Earth's orbit, a tense calm settled over the planet. The captured ships were carefully towed to secure facilities at the Lagrange points, where teams of scientists and engineers waited eagerly to study the alien technology. Supreme Commander Kerix and his surviving officers were confined to specially designed holding facilities, their energy forms contained within quantum fields. In the main command center of Project Sentinel, General Marcus Stone convened an emergency meeting of the United Nations Defense Council. Representatives from every nation participated via secured holographic links, their faces showing a mixture of triumph and concern. "The immediate threat has been neutralized," Stone reported. "But we must prepare for what comes next. According to our prisoners, the Voidborn Empire spans thousands of star systems. What we just defeated was merely an expeditionary force." The Chinese representative, Admiral Lu Wei, leaned forward. "How long before they send reinforcements?" "Based on interrogations and analysis of their navigation logs, we estimate 6 months before news of their defeat reaches the Empire's core worlds," replied Dr. Elena Rodriguez, head of Project Sentinel's Science Division. "Another 6 months for them to mobilize a response. We have approximately 1 Earth year to prepare." The Russian delegate, General Dmitry Volkov, spoke next. What can we expect from this grand armada they mentioned? Dr. Rodriguez pulled up a holographic display showing Voidborn military structure. If their military doctrine holds, they'll send a force 10 times larger than what we just faced. 5,000 capital ships, minimum. Their pride has been wounded. They'll come with everything they have. A murmur of concern rippled through the assembly. 5,000 ships was a staggering number, even with Earth's advanced defenses. President Amanda Hayes of the United States raised her hand. What about offensive capabilities? Can we take the fight to them? General Stone nodded. We've already begun retrofitting the captured Voidborn ships with our technology. Combined with our own fleet that we've kept hidden in the outer system, we could field a substantial force. But there's another option. He gestured to Dr. Rodriguez, who brought up schematics of a massive space station. Project Lighthouse. We've been constructing it in secret at the edge of the solar system. It's a combination of defensive platform and something else. A beacon. A beacon? Asked the Indian Prime Minister, Raj Patel. For what purpose? To contact other species conquered by the Voidborn, Rodriguez explained. Our prisoners revealed that the Empire has subjugated hundreds of civilizations. Many still harbor resentment. If we could unite them, the implications were staggering. An alliance of species, led by humanity, standing against the Voidborn Empire. It was ambitious, perhaps impossible, but it offered hope beyond mere survival. Begin immediate implementation, Stone ordered. We have 1 year to turn Earth from a fortress into the center of a rebellion. In the depths of Nevada's underground facilities, Supreme Commander Carrick sat in his containment cell, his energy form dimmed by defeat. He was questioned daily by human interrogators, their methods far more sophisticated than the brutal techniques his own empire employed. They sought understanding, not just information. Dr. Sarah Chen had become his primary interrogator, her scientific curiosity overcoming her initial fear. She sat across from him now, separated by a quantum barrier that could withstand the full force of his energy discharge. "Why do you conquer?" she asked. "Your technology could bring prosperity to countless worlds. Why choose domination?" Carrick's form pulsed slowly. "It is our nature. We are energy beings. We must expand, consume, grow. Stagnation is death for us. But at what cost? The suffering you've caused. Suffering is temporary. The glory of the Empire is eternal." Even in defeat, his indoctrination ran deep. Sarah leaned forward. "We've analyzed your physiology. Your species doesn't need to consume others to survive. You choose to. There's a difference." For the first time, Carrick seemed to consider her words. In his 1,000 years of existence, no one had ever challenged the fundamental assumptions of Voidborn society. Meanwhile, across Earth, the planet transformed with unprecedented speed. Hidden manufacturing facilities worked around the clock, producing ships, weapons, and defensive systems. The multinational crew of the International Space Station was quietly evacuated and replaced with military personnel as the station was converted into a command center. The most remarkable change was in human society itself. The revelation of the alien threat had united humanity as nothing else could. Old conflicts were set aside, resources were pooled, and for the first time in history, Earth truly acted as one world. 6 months into the preparation, Project Lighthouse was completed. The massive structure, stretching over 10 kilometers in length, was both a fortress and a transmitter. Using quantum entanglement communication derived from Voidborn technology, it could send instantaneous messages across the galaxy. Dr. Rodriguez stood in the station's control room as they prepared for the first transmission. "We're ready, General. The message has been prepared in over 300 languages, including all known tongues of species conquered by the Voidborn." Stone nodded. "Send it." The message was simple but powerful. "To all who have suffered under the Voidborn Empire, we are humanity of Earth. We have defeated their fleet and captured their commanders. We offer alliance, protection, and freedom. The Empire can be beaten. Stand with us. The response was unexpected in its swiftness. Within hours, encrypted replies began arriving. The Zilathi, insectoid beings whose homeworld had fallen 50 years ago. The Aquari, aquatic creatures forced to serve as scouts for the Empire. The Threnodi, whose musical culture had been nearly destroyed by Voidborn occupation. One by one, species across the galaxy responded. But the most surprising response came from within the Voidborn Empire itself. A faction of Voidborn, led by a being called Luminax, contacted Earth in secret. Not all Voidborn support the Empire's ways. Luminax transmitted. Some of us believe in growth through cooperation, not conquest. We have waited centuries for someone strong enough to challenge the old order. We will help you. The alliance grew rapidly. Secret bases were established throughout the galaxy. Resistance cells that had operated in isolation for decades suddenly found themselves part of a coordinated network. Earth became the hub of a rebellion that the Voidborn Empire didn't even know existed. When the year mark approached, long-range sensors detected the approaching Grand Armada. As predicted, it was massive. Over 6,000 ships, led by the Worldbreaker, a vessel 5 times the size of any ship in the original fleet. Grand Admiral Xirian commanded from the Worldbreaker's bridge. Unlike Herix, Xirian was ancient, his energy form so intense it required special shielding to prevent him from damaging his own ship. He had never lost a battle in 2,000 years of service. Status report. He commanded as the Armada dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of Earth's solar system. Scans show Earth's defenses have been significantly enhanced, reported his tactical officer. They've also deployed a defensive perimeter throughout the system. Energy signatures suggest they've adapted our technology. Xirian's form pulsed with anticipation. At last, a worthy opponent. Signal all ships. Begin deployment pattern Omega. We'll crush them with overwhelming force. But as the Grand Armada advanced, they encountered something unexpected. Ships began emerging from hidden positions throughout the solar system. Not just human vessels, but ships of dozens of different designs. The Alliance fleet, lying in ambush, revealed itself. On Earth, General Stone coordinated the defense from the Global Command Center. All Allied forces, execute Operation Stormfront. Lighthouse Station, activate the Resonance Web. The battle that followed dwarfed the first encounter. Thousands of ships engaged across the solar system. But this time, humanity wasn't fighting alone. Zilathi fighters swarmed Voidborn destroyers. Aquari bioships released clouds of nanites that ate through enemy hulls. Threnodi vessels used sonic weapons that disrupted Voidborn energy patterns. The Resonance Web, a network of satellites stretching across the solar system, created pockets of altered spacetime that trapped enemy formations. Human quantum torpedoes, now enhanced with Allied technology, struck with devastating precision. Grand Admiral Xirian watched in disbelief as his supposedly invincible armada was systematically torn apart. Impossible. Where did these other forces come from? His answer came in the form of a transmission from Luminax. The age of conquest is over, Xirian. The Empire has created its own downfall through its cruelty. Stand down. Traitor, Xirian rage. All loyal forces, concentrate fire on the rebel ships. But the Grand Armada was fracturing. Some Voidborn ships turned on their own, as crews loyal to Luminax revealed themselves. Others simply stopped fighting, their commanders unwilling to fire on their own kind. In the chaos, human forces executed their masterstroke. A stealth team, led by Captain David Park, and including volunteers from allied species, had infiltrated the Worldbreaker. Using a combination of human ingenuity and alien expertise, they fought their way to the ship's core. As battles raged around them, they planted a device developed by Dr. Rodriguez's team, a quantum virus that would override the ship's systems and broadcast a message throughout the Empire's communication network. The virus activated. Across thousands of star systems, on every Voidborn ship and installation, the same message played. It was Supreme Commander Herix, speaking from his cell on Earth. Fellow Voidborn, I speak to you as one who has seen the truth. Our empire was built on fear and oppression, but there is another way. The humans have shown me this. They defeated us not through cruelty, but through unity. Not through conquest, but through alliance. The galaxy does not need to be ruled. It can be shared. I call on all Voidborn to lay down their arms and join the galactic community as equals, not conquerors. The effect was immediate. Already demoralized by the fierce resistance, many Voidborn ships powered down their weapons. Others continued fighting, but without coordination or conviction. Grand Admiral Xerion, isolated on his crippled flagship, made one final desperate move. He overloaded the Worldbreaker's core, intending to create an explosion that would destroy Earth's fleet. But humanity had prepared for this too. The resonance cannon network focused on the Worldbreaker, creating a containment field around the ship. When the core exploded, the blast was contained, compressed, and reflected back onto itself. The Worldbreaker imploded, taking Xerion with it, but harming no one else. The battle was over. The Grand Armada surrendered, its remaining ships standing down. Across the galaxy, Voidborn forces laid down their arms. The empire that had terrorized countless worlds for millennia had fallen in a single day. In the aftermath, as Alliance forces secured the surrendered ships, General Stone addressed Earth and the galaxy. Today marks not just a victory, but a new beginning. We've proven that tyranny, no matter how powerful, cannot stand against free people united in common cause. The Voidborn Empire is no more. In its place, we propose something better. A galactic alliance, where all species are equal, where diversity is celebrated, and where we explore the stars together in peace. On Earth, celebrations erupted across every continent. Humanity had not only survived, but had liberated an entire galaxy. The small blue planet that the Voidborn had dismissed as primitive had become the birthplace of a new era. Dr. Sarah Chen stood with General Stone, watching the celebrations from the command center. What happens now? Stone smiled. Now comes the hard part. Building something better than what we've torn down. But if we can defeat an empire, I think we can manage that too. In his cell, former Supreme Commander Carrix watched the broadcasts of celebration and reconstruction. His energy form pulsed with something new, hope. Perhaps the humans were right. Perhaps there was a better way. The stars beckoned, not with the promise of conquest, but with the potential for exploration, cooperation, and growth. Humanity had passed its greatest test. Now, alongside their new allies, they would help reshape the galaxy. The Empire had tried to invade Earth, but in doing so, they had awakened something far more powerful than any weapon. The indomitable spirit of humanity and the power of unity among diverse peoples. The galaxy would never be the same. As the first joint exploration missions launched, crewed by humans and former enemies now working as friends, Earth's message echoed across the stars. We are here. We are ready. And together, we are unstoppable.